I'm Roxanne Carne, personal wardrobe stylist for women, and I transform women's wardrobes and I transform their lives. And in today's video, I'm gonna share with you 10 top tips that I have when it comes to shopping for yourself in person, ladies, okay? And if you stay toward the end, I also have a bonus tip thrown in for you as well. And I wanted to do this video because, you know what? Shopping is so frustrating. It's frustrating in person, it's frustrating online, but I want to share some tips with you that I think will be really helpful for you as you try to navigate your stores in the mall, shopping centers, and so on. Before I get to my first tip, I just wanted to also share with you that I understand your plight when it comes to shopping. I spend my career shopping for other women, and I will tell you, the tips that I'm giving you are gonna be helpful for shopping in person, and these are tips that I use for myself as well. Believe it or not, most of the shopping that I do for my clients is not in person. You will almost never find me in a mall or department store shopping for a client unless I'm on a very tight deadline, and that really is the only way I can get my hands on some clothes. Otherwise, for efficiency purposes, clothes are shipped here to my home studio. So anyhow, when you are shopping in person, it is extremely frustrating and for a myriad of reasons. And this was even prior to the pandemic. E-commerce changes everything. There are lots of stores that are set up now that they don't have as much selection available because people are using the stores to pick up their clothes. So they'll order online and pick up in store. So that's affected a lot of department stores. But also when you do go to the department stores or even branded stores, the selection is just not there. You know, they have more stock in their warehouses than they do in store because they're getting a lot of orders online and they're fulfilling them through direct shipment. So stores are getting fewer and fewer clothing options. They're getting fewer styling options, and they're also getting fewer sizing options. That is, I have to say, probably one of the #1 issues that my clients run into when they were trying to shop for themselves is that the sizing just is not there. Or if they have the size, they'll tell you one of these numbers. They'll say, oh yeah, we've got that size, but we don't have it here. We can ship it to your house. And it's like, okay, what is the point? I came here to buy something, to try something on, and I can't do that. So that's one of the main reasons why it's just so frustrating, because there's not a lot to choose from. But I do feel that even given that obstacle, you still can score some winners if you employ these tips. So let's jump into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is shopping with intent. If you are a follower of mine or a client of mine, this is a phrase that you know very well. I really, really believe that when you are out there in the world trying to find some great pieces for yourself, it is always better to go with a plan. Think about, what gaps do I have in my wardrobe that I need to fill, perhaps for the year, or maybe something as kind of close in as the season, or for an event. You know, make a list of specific things that you're going after. And it may not necessarily be, you know, I'm looking for a pair of pants by this brand, by this, you know, in this color. It may be I'm looking for a particular silhouette, for example. But make a list of the types of things that you're targeting, because what happens is quite often when you don't go with an idea of what you're looking for, you get sucked into the retail trap, okay? You're seeing sale signs and you end up buying things that you have no business buying, right? Clothes that will not serve you, clothes that will probably just stay in your closet with a tag on them. And it may feel good to get that on sale, but it's not any use to you if you have it hanging in your closet and you're not wearing it. I see clothes with tags in them that have been untouched for years all the time. So shop with intent, go with a plan, have some categories that you're targeting. And when you're going through the shops, put the blinders on and look for those things. So that's my first tip for you, shop with intent. Okay, here's number 2, set a budget. This actually goes really, really hand in hand with the first tip of shopping with intent. And that's because when you have an idea of what you're targeting, now you can put some additional parameters in terms of how much you want to spend. And I say set a budget because it's so easy to spend, translation, waste money on, again, clothes that you do not need. If you go to, shopping, you've got a number in your mind saying, I want to spend no more than 200. I want to spend no more than 500, 1,000, 5,000, whatever the amount is. It doesn't matter what the amount is, but set a budget, because that will force you to shop with intent, right? It'll force you to concentrate on what are the pieces that I did come out here to seek? What are the pieces that I truly do need? What are the pieces that I can not introduce in my wardrobe and waste money on that I actually don't need, but I'm just buying it because it's on sale? I can't tell you how many women have told me in the years past that they'll just buy something because it's on sale. But then guess what? They've blown their budget and they're not actually getting anything that really actually serves them. So if you set a budget, that will help kind of rein in your spending and allow you to just really be a little bit more disciplined in terms of what you're introducing to your wardrobe. So setting a budget is super, super important. Let's head to our next tip now. Number 3 is doing your research. So as you are going through the whole idea of shopping with intent, as in being very mindful about the categories that you want to shop for and setting a budget, if you do some online research, that will actually help with that process. So if you have a particular brand that you love or you maybe want to explore, check out the website. Get some information about the brand and their story. Lots more companies and brands these days are sharing a little bit more about kind of the essence of why they design the pieces that they do, who's involved in it. They may have themes such as sustainability if that's important for you. So do your research, check out these brands, but then take a look and see what clothes they have online. There may be a fantastic skirt that you see, you're just like, oh my gosh, I would love to try that on, and shortlist it, but it gives you a great understanding of the aesthetic, and it also kind of helps you from wandering aimlessly in stores. If you have an idea that this brand has these certain looks that are out this season, that's going to help you just kind of look through and say, oh my gosh, I'm really interested in that, or this is inspiring, I think I would like to try this, or ooh, I'm not sure about that, but maybe I can try it on and see. This is what helps you kind of open your eyes to what's out there. So do your research so that when you get to the store, again, remember I mentioned having a game plan. This will be part of your game plan by identifying specific pieces that you may want to give a try. So do your research. Number 4 is say yes, as in say yes to the sales associate that's trying to help you. So I know a lot of times, when you're going to browse, you're looking through and people are saying, oh, can I help you? You're kind of like, no, leave me alone. But we're not in browsing mode anymore, okay? We're shopping with intent. So when a sales associate asks you if they can assist you, say yes. They're the experts there. They know the stock. They know what's on the floor. They know what's in the back. They know what's coming into stock. Leverage their knowledge. That list that you may have to say, oh, I'm interested in a skirt like this, or I saw that you had this particular pair of pants online. Do you have this in store? You're giving them a sense for what your aesthetic is like, but then they're able to share more information with you, again, about the brand, about the materials, about maybe what's coming up in the next season that you may be interested in. There's such a wealth of information, and I feel like a lot of people do not take advantage of sales associates in stores. Now, I will say that this will depend on the store that you go to or the brand that you go to, because there are some stores and brands that have high turnover, and they may be working there for the summer or for the season, or they weren't there that long and they might not have a lot of knowledge. But, I still feel give them a chance, right? Because they may tell you and share something with you that you did not know, or introduce you to something that you might not have thought of before. But for brands that do have sales associates that have great tenure there, again, that is like a pot of gold. They know the brand inside and out and can really direct you and help you find some great pieces. So say yes always. Number 5 is start at the back. So if you are a bargain hunter, or again, you set a budget and maybe you've got a tight budget, you want to get as much bang for your buck, okay? And the way stores are designed in terms of floor layout is that all of the new, shiny, pretty stuff is always at the front. It's in the store window. It's on the mannequins right as you walk in. It's in the table, on the table. Sometimes that you have to kind of navigate and walk around to get to the rest of the store because they want you to see that product, okay? They're in the business to sell you products, right? But the gems oftentimes are in the back of the store. So if you are really looking for items that are marked down, that are on sale, head to the back of that store, and that's where you will see the clearance racks. And that also can be a pot of gold too, because there are a lot of times, especially depending on the day of the week that you go, if they've had products that were recently marked down that have not been picked over, seriously, like you can find some really, really good gems there, but they're not going to be at the front. They don't want to sell you, all of the sales items. They want to send you things that are a full markup because that's how they make their money, right? So make sure that you head to the back of the store so that you can find the best deals and take home some really great goodies. That's when you should feel good, when you find something that serves you and that you did not have to pay full price. All right, here's number 6. Don't settle for what's on the floor. So if you find something that you like, and this is where the communication with the sales associate is going to be super helpful. Because if you're not communicating with the sales associate and even asking for help, you may see something that you like, but perhaps they do not have it in your size on the floor, on the sales rack. Sometimes people will just say, oh, they don't have it in my size. I'm giving up and I'll leave. Lie, ask them, right? The salespeople are there to help you. Ask them, do you have this in my size? I'm looking for whatever size it is. Is there a possibility that you have this in the back? Or do you have it at a different location? Or is it something that maybe can be shipped to me? And let them go take a look. You may be surprised. I would say probably 50-60% of the time, especially if it's an item that's not on sale, not always, but they usually have more stock in the back of the store. So make sure you ask this question. But you can even sometimes see this in sales items. For example, I was in Eileen Fisher just a few days ago, and I picked up a beautiful silk top that was on sale, and what was on the floor was not in my size. And I asked the salesperson, I was like, I know this is on sale, but do you maybe have any more? And she's like, oh yeah, I know we have a few. Let me go take a look. And lo and behold, she had my size and it was not on the floor. I don't know why it wasn't on the floor, but she had my size and it was a sale item. So I went home happy because I got the top that I wanted in my size. I got it at a nice price as well. But if I did not ask, I would not have received. So make sure, again, leverage that sales associate, ask for what you do not see on the floor. Number 7, now this is an important one when possible. Try on the clothes at the store, okay? So unless you are shopping at a brand where their sizing fits you like on point. Like for instance, for me, I know like anything that I buy at Banana Republic in my size is going to fit me to a T. Doesn't matter if it's a dress, pants, short, skirt, what have you, tops. If they have it in my size, it's going to fit. So that is something I can confidently buy off the rack and not have any concern about it. But if you find that you struggle with finding your size with particular brands, even some of your favorites, that's totally okay. What I want you to do is take a couple of those sizes back to the dressing room and leverage that dressing room. Try the clothes on so that you're looking to see how it fits you. You're looking at how it drapes on your body. You're looking at the coloring and really getting a good sense for, is this something that I really like or something that I would work with? One thing I do want to caution you on though is Sometimes department stores or even brand stores have like crappy dressing rooms, as in dressing rooms that have like maybe just one mirror, dressing rooms that have poor lighting in terms of the color of the lighting, the shade. My pet peeve is when they have lighting that's in a can above you and the light is shining down instead of shining at you, because you can't really see. You're seeing like all these shadows. It looks kind of dark. You turn here, it's dark, and you can't really figure out what's going on. For those situations, do your best to make a best guess of what it could look like. If you're interested in that item still, take it home and try it on again in more of an even wash of lighting. Natural light is always going to be the best. But if they do have a dressing room, leverage it, because you may pick up some clothes that actually really do not flatter you, do not look their best on you. And why buy it? You know, why take something off the rack if you have a question mark about it in terms of how it fits, if they have a dressing room? There are some stores that actually don't have dressing rooms. And of course, in those instances, you will, if you're interested in that piece, you'll buy it, take it home and try it on. But you have to promise yourself that if it does not fit you, if it does not serve you, then you have to be a good girl and return it, okay? Don't hang it up in your closet and say, I'm gonna give this to my niece or my sister or something. Honey, that thing's gonna stay in there for like the next 5 years. Believe me, I know, because I see it all the time. But whenever possible, again, ladies, try on those clothes in store for me, please. All right, here's number 8. If you are between sizes, buy the larger size and get it tailored. Okay, so let's dive into this one a little bit. I cannot tell you how many times women miss out on great pieces because they say, they don't have it in my size. I tried on size A and that was too small. I tried the next size up and that's too big. So I'm just gonna walk out of the store. I'm not gonna go home with it. That is a big missed opportunity, because when you think about clothing and ready to wear are clothing is pretty much clothes that are made for the masses, for men, for women, for children. It's what we see when we go to the mall or the shopping center. This is what's hanging up in stores. These are mass produced, okay? Mainly against their own, each brand typically has their own sizing guides. So it's not going to necessarily fit perfectly on every person, but if it's a piece that you really are digging and would invest and pay a little bit more to have it tailored, I highly recommend that, because that's how you can have pieces that look like they're made for you. So again, if you're in between sizes, you've tried on size A, it's too small, you tried on size B and it's too big, and you love the piece, you gotta make sure that you love it, get size B and take it to a tailor and have it tailored to your body. That's all you need to do. So many women miss out on fantastic outfit opportunities because they do not employ the use of a tailor. You know, it's just so funny to think back in the day, all clothes were custom made. You used to have to go to a dressmaker to get, you know, your dresses made for you. And as designers and industry has grown, you know, of course, with processes of, you know, mass production, the industrial revolution as it relates to fashion, right? Things could get mass produced. That beauty, that art form was really lost. So I don't want you to limit yourself and think, gosh, I can't buy this because it's too big for me. Buy it and just get it sized to you. So again, in between sizes, get the bigger one and get it tailored, but only if you love it. Okay, number 9, this is an important one. Before you check out, you need to make sure that you always check the return policy, okay? Very important. The good news is I would say probably about 85 to 90% of retailers out there have a decent return policy where if something doesn't work out for you and you change your mind about it after the fact, you can return it usually between 14 to 30 days. There are some retailers that have extended it to 60, and then there are retailers like Nordstrom that you can pretty much return anything at any time. I think Nordstrom is almost pretty much like the only one like that. But there are some retailers and brands that when you buy from them, you cannot return that for money back. They will take it back as a store credit only or as an exchange only. So you want to be really, really careful before you go swiping your card to buy those items, that you are clear about that return policy. Now, if it was one of those return policies where, they're only giving you store credit, if there are pieces that you love and they work well on you, buy the clothes, because you're not going to return them, right? The likelihood that you're going to return them is very minimal. But if you are in that situation from one of my previous tips where that mirror was kind of janky in the dressing room and you're not really too sure, is this going to work, is it not? Don't buy that item, because if it does not work out, guess what? You're on the hook for it, and you will have to get store credit and just find something else with that brand, which could end up working out well, or you can maybe just only exchange it for something else. So just really, really be careful, because I would hate for you to change your mind about something and not be able to return it afterward. So that's a super important tip. Number 10, this is a good follow-on for number 9. If you have any doubts about what you bought, and again, this is after the fact, you've taken it home and you maybe put it on again and you're not really feeling it, return it, okay? Please, from the heavens above, return these items, because you do not want a wardrobe full of clothes that have tags on them that you are not wearing, that you're not using. Again, I see this all the time in closets, and I know, it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to drudge all the way down back to, the mall or whatever, or have to ship it. But you know what? It's your money. You're gonna lose that money if you don't return it. If you're truly not happy with it, don't sit on it. Don't think, oh, I'll return it next week, because guess what? Next week's gonna come and go. You're gonna be so busy with other life events, you're not even gonna remember that top. I was talking to a new client recently, and she does a lot of traveling, and she did just that. She got some stuff recently, and she was like, oh, I'll return it after I get back from that next trip. Her next trip ended up getting extended, and when she got home, it was literally like the day after the return policy expired. So she could not return any of the clothes. So I don't want you to get caught up in that. If you have reservations off the jump, when you go home and you try those clothes on, and you're just like, ooh, these 2 pieces here, I am not really feeling, please make a plan to go out the next day or the next couple of days, or ship it back, whatever you have to do. Get on it, because that's the only way that you're going to maximize the investment in your wardrobe, if you're not wasting it on things that are not serving you. All right. So that was my 10th tip, but I've got one bonus tip for you. Are you ready? Okay. So my bonus tip is kind of like almost the opposite of the tip number 1, shopping with intent. This one is shopping for opportunity. So what that means is, I told you in the beginning to kind of keep your blinders on, but I want you to also keep your eyes open. You're probably like, okay, Roxanne, you're telling me one thing, now you're telling me the other. Keep your eyes open, because sometimes when you're not maybe shopping with purpose, or you're maybe looking for something completely different, like you're getting, you're going to get a handbag or something, but you see this beautiful, shawl hanging there. If you see something that stops you in your tracks and you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, this is an amazing piece, I'll probably never see it again. And it's gotta match that criteria, okay? It has to be super special, and it fits you, the price is right, you're willing to pay either full price for it, or even if you get it on sale, that's even better. But if it is something that just, again, it catches your eye, it stops you in your tracks, and you know that you can work it and you will wear it, I say go for it, because these are the opportunity pieces that can be statement pieces for your wardrobe. I shop very much like that for myself. So first of all, I spend, as a stylist, I spend more time shopping for clients than I do for myself. People think that I'm buying things all the time. When I buy clothes for myself, I usually do it in like kind of 2 or 3 hauls per year. And I do it all at once. However, when I see something like outside of those kind of mini shopping hauls, if I see something that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is unique, very few people even have this, the price is right, I know I'm going to wear it, honey, I buy the piece. And true to form, I have some pieces that I've had for maybe like, and then this is in real time right now, for probably maybe going on a year that I have not worn. And it's not like I have lots of them. I can think of about maybe 3 right now, but it always works out for me. I always have an event that comes up where I can rock it. And it is something that no one else has seen, because I got it, some time ago, right? And it was unique to start with. And it's always there, and it's great. It's a great feeling to go shopping in my closet, to bring out this piece and be like, I was ready for her. I was waiting for her, right? And these are pieces that I got just by opportunity. I wasn't looking for it, but when I saw it, it really struck me, and I just knew I could rock it and I need to have it in my wardrobe. I think it's great to have those little exceptions, because that's really where you can build really unique statement pieces for your wardrobe. So that was my bonus tip. That was my final tip for you on how to shop in person at brick and mortar stores, brands, malls, shopping centers. If you employ these tips, I think shopping is going to be a lot easier for you and a lot less frustrating. So I'd love to know what you think about my tips. And I also want to know, what tips do you have when you go out shopping in person, to snag the piece that you really, really are on the hunt for, or if there are any kind of other cool strategies that you use for yourself to ensure that you only take home the best of the best for you. Drop them in the comments section. And while you're at it, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and also click on the notification bell so that you will be in the know when I release my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.